Hey everybody, looky what we got here. LG OLED TV. This would be the LG C9 OLED TV. It replaces the C8, which was our best TV of the year last year. So I'm excited to see what's in this box. So the C series is not the least expensive OLED TV that LG makes. It's the second least expensive, but that doesn't mean it slouches on performance. It's got the best panel and the best processing that LG offers. What really makes it different than the other LG OLED TVs is, well, how it looks. So let's take a look inside the box, see what it comes with, and what kind of design changes we see over last year. Okay, so we've unboxed the TV at this point. Pretty straightforward. Just follow the instructions you see on the top of the box. And here's what you'll find inside besides the panel itself. You've got your product literature. Keep this around if for no other reason so that you understand how to assemble the stand. Then we've got the LG Magic Motion Remote making an appearance once again. Some Bexel batteries. Rich says, can't beat a Bexel. Don't know what that means. Some hardware to attach the stand, and then we've got our 3 stand components here. And this is where we see the biggest difference. This piece right here is ridiculously heavy. I mean, that is some serious ballast, and I assume that's to give the TV a really stable sit on the entertainment stand. This right here will go on the front of the TV, and it goes at a slight angle like this. Not only does it look good, but it also funnels the sound from the downward firing speakers out at the listener. And hey, it's metal this year. Last year it was plastic, so it's a bit heavier and it feels much nicer. It's got a nice sort of matte finish, brushed aluminum, and it doesn't take fingerprints all that well. This is just a little plate for the back to cover up the screws on the stand here. And then, yeah, if you're still rocking the old school AV connection, this will allow you to do it in the back of the TV. So now we have to do some stand assembly, and we're not going to be able to do it in this orientation. I just wanted to show you how this is going to come together. So this goes in with a little bit of up angle, and then you got to kind of slide that sucker in, and then these 2 slots match up. So here's the view from underneath where we actually attach the screws. We bring this guy up, angle it up towards us, and then slide it till it slots. Then we've got 3 different locations for screws. So let's get to screwing. For this next part, you're definitely going to need a friend because this TV is remarkably heavy. More on that in a second. So basically pick up the TV, set it down just like so. So this tab sort of locks into the television, and then you want to screw in your 4 screws. And then when you're all done with that, you just pop in this little protective plate that covers up the screw holes. If on the other hand, you're gonna wall mount the television, you've got your Visa or Vesa if you prefer, wall mounting holes right here. It's a pretty tight pattern, but that makes sense because most of the weight is concentrated here. It's not much heavier than last year's, but it's a stout TV, so definitely have help when you go to put that together. So what else is happening back here? Well, first of all, this brushed aluminum finish is really, really pretty. I know you don't look at the back of the TV a bunch, but it's really nice. And then as for inputs and whatnot, you've got some rear facing, some to the side for easier access when it's wall mounted. And then for cable management, this is new this year, better than last year. You've got a little slot right here so that you can route your cables back down here and underneath your stand so that they're less visible. Hey, couple of pro tips. Before you put this up on your wall or put it up on the stand as we just did, be sure to remove the plastic covering off the back of the TV. It's so good you don't really notice that it's there, but it is. Also, if you don't have one of these microfiber cleaning cloths, definitely invest in one. You're gonna put fingerprints all over this thing while you install it. And also it's good to keep it around for keeping the TV clean. So as we were setting this up, we realized this is the thinnest OLED TV we've seen yet. I mean, they were already remarkably thin, but this one's just that much slimmer, and I don't know how they did it, but it is absolutely stunning to stand off to the side of this thing. It never gets old. All right, we're almost ready to fire this sucker up. Put your Bexel batteries in your Magic Motion remote. Oh, and here's pro tip number 3. You wanna plug this into the wall socket. Yeah, that's the thing. People actually forget to do that sometimes. All right, let's see what this TV looks like. All right, let's turn this thing on. Wow, that was a really, really fast boot time. So LG's WebOS, as you see here, is gonna run you through a setup wizard. It's very bubbly, it's very animated, and you gotta get through the basics, get your language and time zone figured out. And what you're gonna notice is that it's got audio guidance to start. It's really annoying, this voice that guides you through everything. but it immediately prompts you to turn it off. You're definitely doing that. Always want to select the home setting. If you select the store setting, it's going to be impossibly bright. It's designed to compete with all the TVs in a really bright showroom environment. We've connected an Ethernet cable, but had we not done that, it would go searching for Wi-Fi, and then we'd get connected to the internet. Legal notices, get used to these. This is all about whether the TV is spying on you or honoring your privacy. You might actually want to read this. I am not for the sake of time here. But yeah, this is all about what they gather in terms of viewing information, how you use voice commands. It's meant to be in service of making the TV easier to use. I usually go ahead and authorize those, but if you're paranoid, I understand, go ahead and turn them off. Just know that you're not going to get some features that way. So at this point, if you've got all of your devices connected as you should, it's going to scan through those connected devices, try and figure out what they are, maybe help you label them. And at some point here, we're going to scan for local TV channels. You can skip that if you're not going to connect an antenna to the TV. All right, so at this point, you can signal whether you have cable or satellite connected to the HDMI port or connected to the antenna port if you're using an older school box. In this case, we don't have any cable connected. We'll just select antenna, and then yes, we do enjoy streaming live TV and streaming content. Let's go ahead and get our zip code in there real fast. The next step is it'll figure out what kind of cable box you're using and work with that in order to control it. Or in this case, we're doing some channel tuning. I'm just showing this because it's so incredibly fast. There are some TVs that are impossibly slow with this process. So I really enjoy the fact that LG TVs, especially their OLEDs, tend to get through this setup process very quickly and very easily. You don't have to understand a bunch of technical stuff to get up and running on this TV. We're actually not going to dig too much in the user experience here. I did want to show you though that once you've got your TV stations tuned, it does provide a guide for you. There's a little guide button on the remote that shows you what's playing and when. It's really easy to filter through it and search. All right, a quick word on picture settings before we finish up this video. Definitely get out of the auto power save mode. There are a number of really solid picture presets here. Cinema is always a good place to start, although some of you may find that is not quite bright enough. Sports is almost always too bright. Game is good for game mode, just leave it for that. I do not mess with the HDR effects stuff, but I do like the Technicolor Expert modes. There's a Technicolor Expert Standard, there's a bright room, and then there's a dark room. Pick the one that you like best to your eyes. I personally prefer the standard Technicolor Expert. I think that it's good for daytime viewing and for nighttime viewing. All right, we're almost ready to watch TV. Couple of things I wanted to point out to you. Go into the all settings here. You can check all your picture mode settings. If you ever want to adjust them, you can just click here and have a look at all of them at once. We're gonna back out of that and double check that everything else looks good. Sometimes they leave the true motion setting turned on, but it looks like they've got it turned off here. That's important. No matter what picture setting you choose, turn true motion off because that's gonna give you that soap opera effect most people just don't like. That's probably the best tip that I can give you. Otherwise, it looks like this ISF calibrated mode pretty much has everything correct right out of the box. That's a really good sign. There's a few other things that I want to double check. Oh, here's something. Apply this to all inputs. Just do it now. That's more than likely what you're going to want to do. And that saves you some time. So as you cycle through HDMI 1, 2, 3, 4, you don't have to adjust those. I will tell you right now that you're probably going to have to make an adjustment though when you pop into individual apps through the Smart TV interface. One final thing you want to check is the energy saving. In the past, if this was turned on, it actually limited the brightness of the TV. It doesn't appear to be doing that right now. I'm gonna turn it off for the moment, just to make sure that I'm getting the brightest HDR picture. And in our full review, we'll investigate exactly what the effect of this energy saving mode is. I am all for the idea of using less power, but I don't want it to limit my picture quality. Okay, and at this point, you're pretty much ready to start watching TV. The TV is going to update itself in the background, and occasionally as you enter into different apps, it's going to want to update those apps as well. But good news, it's lightning fast. The processor in this is looking really good right now. But of course, we're going to leave our final opinions about picture quality and user experience for our full review. So be sure to come back in a couple of weeks to check for that. Hey guys, thanks for watching our LG C9 series unboxing and basic setup. What did you think? What TV are you excited to see this year? What should we unbox next? Leave a comment down below. Of course, subscribe, ring that bell so you know we've got a new video coming out. And here's a couple other videos we think you might like.